Here are 10 things that you need to know about websites, particularly if you are a therapist, coach, health professional, somebody that offers one-to-one work in the helping professions. All of my content is designed specifically for you. So before you go jumping into paying people for websites, I urge you to give this video a watch. Let's dive straight in. So, the first thing is all website builders are not built the same. It is about so much more than the look of what you like. So, Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, um, most people that I deal with choose one of those based on the look that it gives them, and sometimes on the kind of builder it gives you. They're not all designed the same, and they all give you different things and do different things well. So I did a different video, I will link that here, comparing Wix, Squarespace and WordPress. And people that have watched that video have been able to go on and make more empowered choices that they feel are right for them. So don't just dive into choosing a builder because it looks good. There's a lot more going on than what you think. Number two is don't let the jargon make you feel disempowered. So websites come with all sorts of jargon, and that can make you feel like you're a technophobe who doesn't know what you're doing. So recently, somebody I was working with got a quote from a different web provider, and they had sort of things ticked on the invoice. They didn't know what any of them were. So don't get roped into buying things that you potentially don't need just because there's jargon and you think, oh, well, they must know better than me. I must need these things, so therefore I'll pay for them. I've done another video that's about website jargon for beginners. I will put a link to that video here, and also below in the description. Understand that jargon so that then you can make an educated choice over what you need and what you don't need. It's not as complicated as you think it is. And in the video, I do break it down and explain each of those bits of jargon. So hopefully then you can make good choices. Number three, a website isn't a golden ticket to getting sales. So you can be incredibly successful getting sales and not have a website. And equally, you can have a website and get no sales. It's not that you all of a sudden have a website and then people come pouring into your business. I describe a website as your storefront. It's the place where people can go to learn about you and to see what services that you offer. It is your storefront. There's a lot of work that goes into then driving traffic to your website or letting people know that you exist via your your website and getting that out there. So you are not going to create a website and then immediately have a flock of people running to your door. And equally, you can be successful if you do other marketing things without a website. So this is where I say business strategy comes into it. And it's really important that you think about what are you doing in your business, and what things are you, what audience are you working with, and what ways do you want to market yourself before you decide to invest in a website. It's got to feel like it's the right thing for you and your business going forwards. So number four, the brand is just as important as the text. So many people buy because they look at something and they like the feel of it. So it's not just about what you write, it's the look and the feel for your website. So when you're creating a website, think about what is your brand? Is it a luxury brand? Is it a sort of calming brand? Is it a confident and bold brand? Do you want to inspire hope in people, creativity in people. Like, what is the vibe that you want to give people from your website? Because the brand and the colors and the look of the website are just as important, if not more important, than the words. People generally don't read websites these days. They look at something, they think, oh, I like what this person's, I like the feel of this. So have a think about what sort of feel you want to give people when they go onto your website. And that comes from the brand and the design of the website as much as it comes from what you're saying. Number 5, you have 2 audiences for your website, not just one. So it's not just about your clients. You have 2 audiences. You have the people who are going to go and visit your website and read it. And then we also have the online tools that are going to reference it and use it. So how do you appear in Google, where you put your website, things like who then links back to your website. You have a machine audience as much as you have a client audience, and that machine audience helps you to get out to more people, be found in various places, and be found by people. So when you are looking at your website, we are not only designing it from the client's perspective. It needs to read really well from somebody who's going to visit the website, but it also needs to read well for the machines, because they are helping you to get out there and be seen by more people. Next one, WordPress doesn't mean complicated and coding. So many people think that a WordPress website is a really complicated website and they absolutely must have a web developer for a WordPress website. That is a myth. A WordPress website can be designed really simply and easily. It's just that most web designers that I see, well, it depends how complicated a website you want. But for our industry, I think most people just want a simple website. And then I've seen a lot of web designers that over design it in complex ways, so that then you have to pay them every time you want to update it or every time you want to add anything to it, because they've designed it in such a really complicated way. So I want to let you know that it doesn't have to be that way. You can absolutely have a WordPress website that's really simple, and you can edit it and you can update it yourself. Number 7 is hosting is important, and most people don't give any consideration to hosting or understand what hosting is or what it does. So if you're not sure, go and have a look at that jargon busting video that I've put a link to. Hosting is really important because that is the service that provides your website. So things like the backups come from your hosting. Your email address, whether you have availability of email addresses, they usually come from the hosting. The settings in terms of some of the sort of how you appear on Google and things like that come from hosting. It doesn't come from your actual website builder. So there's more to consider about the hosting. However, I think quite a lot of website companies say, oh, hosting's included, to make you feel like that's a really positive benefit. You still need to look at what you get in terms of your hosting. That governs the size of your website. So if you want a website that's got loads of videos on it, you need to check that your hosting is big enough to handle those things. As well, hosting is about traffic, how much traffic your website can handle. So if you run a massive campaign and have thousands of people landing on your website, this is why people say, oh, my website crashed, is because the hosting plan that they have got does not accommodate the kind of volume that they got. So my point here is that hosting is an important consideration. So don't be fooled into thinking that when people say, oh, hosting is included, that then means ticking the box, you don't have to think about it. I would really scrutinize what you get as part of that hosting package. Number 8 is calls to actions. This is a really niggly one of mine. I've done another video that is how to add calls to actions to your website. But calls to actions mean, what is it that you want the customer to do, the person on the website to do? Make them as super clear and obvious as you can. Don't hide the call to action. So I see websites where people tell people look brilliant about themselves, and then people are like, I want to work with you, but they have to then go find the next step to work with you, and it's hidden on a different page, or called a different thing. Don't hide the calls to actions, the CTAs. Make them bold, make them simple, make them obvious, make them, if you, I come to your website, I learn all about you, and then I can't actually book you. It's frustrating from a user's point of view. So calls to actions, make them really clear. Don't hide them in other pages, and make them so I know what I'm doing and how to take the next steps with you. Number 9 is updates and maintenance on your website. There's quite a few people that I've seen that have a website and then they haven't touched it for years. Things do have updates. Bugs get fixed. Security issues get rectified. New features come out, all sorts of things. So you need to make sure that you are going in quarterly, maybe, and just checking that your website is up to date to the latest version, and doing a bit of maintenance just to update things and keep it functioning the best way that it can. Sometimes things crash, or things get hacked, or things happen because you haven't got a website that's really old and it's on the old settings. So updating your website and maintaining your website is important. It can just take a few minutes just to go in, just to click a few buttons and update everything. So it doesn't have to take you a long time. It doesn't have to be a big task, but it is an important one. And the last one is editing, updating, and changing a website is a lifelong job. In terms of my journey, I have re-edited my website countless times in my business journey. Businesses grow, services change, your ideas change, and your website needs to reflect that. So there's very, very few people that create a website and then say, job's done and dusted, and then never change it again. So editing your website is absolutely part of the journey. And for me personally, I feel that you should be empowered yourself to go in and change your prices or your packages, or add a new blog, or change the way that you describe who you are and what you do. Because the more you go along the business journey, the clearer you get in explaining your services and explaining who you are and what you do. And then you want to change the wording of your website. So this is why with my website packages, I do WordPress websites, and why I include WordPress training in those, so that you can then edit your website yourself. You can add things to it without having to come back to me and pay again and again and again every time you want to change something. For me, you should be empowered with that knowledge yourself to be able to go in and just tweak something if you want to tweak it, or just update something if you want to update it, because that to me is empowering you in your business journey. It's no good if you say, I want to change a package, and then you have to A, get in touch with your web developer, and B, then you have to get in a queue and wait 2 weeks, and you think, I just wanted to tweak a word, because then you don't do it. And then we're months down the line and you haven't done those updates to your website or changes to your website, and the information that people are reading isn't the most up to date and most informative information. So editing your website is a lifelong job, and I truly believe that you should be empowered in making those changes so that you can go in there and just make sure that it's up to date. That doesn't mean that you have to redo the entire website. It's just the fact that I want you to be empowered as a business owner to be able to to have that ability to go in and do it if you need to and when you need to, so that you are shining your best light to the people that are visiting your website. So if you are interested in website building, I will put the link down below to go find out about Build It Brilliant services and how I can help you to build an amazing website. I have website review packages, copywriting packages, and a WordPress website build package as well. So I'll put the details down below so that you can go and have a look at those if you want some help with your website. But I hope that those 10 things have helped you to understand websites a little bit more. By all means, go and see the other videos on my channel. I'll put the links down below to the ones I've mentioned here into the description. But please do go and visit my Build It Brilliant YouTube channel more, because I've got other website related videos on there. If you feel like I have shared something that's been really useful, then do like the video. Really appreciate that. And if you do like what I share in Build It Brilliant's YouTube channel, then feel free to subscribe. I release a video every week at the moment, and they're all focused on demystifying the business building journey for therapists, coaches, and health professionals. I personally don't believe that the knowledge should be locked behind paywalls that makes you feel disempowered in your business. It's that educational piece for me that means then that you can make informed and educated choices that are right for you. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time for the next one.